To Okay, thank you. Good evening. Today is Wednesday, May the 26th, 2021. And tonight, the chair of our membership committee, Belor Termerchador, has been very kind to us and has set up a very special presentation with two presenters, Hediya Sizar and Deepak Gilra, who are going to be talking about the art of wellness, mindfulness, and meditation. And not coincidentally, this is National Health Month in the United States. And I think most of us would agree that the pandemic has caused all of us to pay a very heavy price mentally. A lot of us feel like we've been under house arrest for the past year. We've missed social contacts, social interaction. We've been forced to sequester ourselves in our homes. And all of this has had an effect, both on children, on seniors, and adults. So tonight, we're very fortunate of having two very active and well-known, shall I say, experts in this area who are going to enlighten us. And hopefully we will come away from this better people. So again, thank you for being with us tonight. Belor, would you like to do the introductions for us?
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to introduce you, Deepak, Gilra, and Hediya, Sizar, those who will lead today's session. And Deepak Gilra is a certified wellness coach with the Art of Living Foundation. And he has 2 decades of experience with the foundation. Over the time, Deepak has led several wellness coaching sessions at Intel, state agencies in UC Davis, in UC Berkeley, and among others. Deepak is a senior engineer manager at Intel Corporation and has volunteered his time to lead wellness sessions for thousands of people in the United States and around the world. His sessions are filled with wit and humor, so much looking forward to it. And Deepak holds dual master's degrees in business administration and electrical engineering from UC Berkeley and Texas A&M University. Hediya Sizar is a global shaper from New York City Hub, and she's a social change strategist and producer championing sustainable impact. And Hediya is a senior manager of special projects at NYU and also film producer. And hopefully she will share with us her most recent production on youth mental health crisis and well-being and resilience. She holds both bachelor's in science and MBA degrees from NYU. Logistics heads up, the session will be recorded and shared. Participants are muted. If you will have questions during the session, feel free to type it on the chat box. And we will have 30 minutes moderated session and moderated and interactive session, followed by 20 minutes guided meditation with breath work and 10 minutes Q&A in the end of the session. Thank you. And I'll hand it over to you, Hediya. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Belor, and everyone else for this opportunity and your time. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I want to first preface and share this background that, as mentioned, in the year since COVID-19, it's upended our daily life, and mental health struggles have really skyrocketed, accelerating an already dire crisis that some had already called a second pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, the rates of depression and psychological distress among our youth were soaring to record levels, with suicides rising to the second leading cause of death among Americans ages 7 to 24. And the emotional and social isolation as a result of the pandemic that was mentioned has not only compounded this crisis, but especially among students of color and also marginalized communities as well. Despite the progress in some countries outside of the US, people with mental health conditions experience severe human rights violations, discrimination, and stigma. So the question becomes, we need to take mass action to educate the public about how to talk about mental health, how to get help when it's needed, and ultimately demonstrate that this is mental health is really holistically a part of our health. the power of storytelling can begin to foster some of these issues and destigmatize mental health and drive behavioral and cultural change. So for myself as a university administrator, mental health advocate, and storyteller, I've had the opportunity to recently produce a narrative feature film called The Rest of Us with award-winning director, Dr. Linda G. Mills. And this follows a diverse group of students who spring into action when facing a mental health crisis on their campus. And a key theme that emerges from the film and a message that I hope that we can discuss today with Deepak, which I'm very excited to have a conversation about, is how do we cultivate self-care and resilience? This is a theme, and when we're thinking about taking care of our emotional well-being, it's the same way of taking care of our physical health before we actually reach that moment of a crisis. So what are the steps that we need to take to meet the needs of our communities? And how do we actually identify practices of self-care that are vital towards building resilience, managing trauma, stress, and anxiety? So research has found that the practice of mindfulness and meditation, which we're going to speak towards about today, promotes better stress management, work-life balance, reduces anxiety, and ultimately cultivates a better long-term mental and physical health. Deepak, I'd love to turn this conversation over to you. As a certified wellness coach and your expertise in meditation, can you first share with us the science of meditation and how it benefits our mental health and well-being?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Hediya, and thank you, Bolo, for the introduction, and thank you, Gilra, for the warm welcome. So you rightly pointed out, Hediya, you know, the issues that we are facing currently today, mental health crisis, is something that needs to be addressed, right? I mean, some of the statistics that I was sharing that, you know, more than 60% of population have suffered some sort of anxiety in the last 1 year. It has even surpassed depression, which is very close behind, with 40 to 50% of population suffering some sort of depression. So here we need some concrete tools, techniques to help manage the mind, help manage our emotions. And, you know, meditation is not something that is out there, you know, before 20 years ago, people thinking meditation was voodoo, something from the East or something like that. These days, meditation have shown that if you regularly practice meditation, the benefits of it. In fact, I've seen some studies that have shown that, you know, if you meditate regularly, in just 8 weeks, your whole gray matter changes. You know, gray matter is responsible for how you respond to things, how you react to certain situations. Just meditating 4 to 5 sessions increases your liquid intelligence by 10%, right? I have personally seen that, you know, breathwork and meditation has led to reduce anxiety by 76% in just a few sessions itself. I've seen that, you know, people who regularly meditate, they have deeper levels of sleep, 3x times levels of sleep. And those are measured, you know, something that they've seen, you know, you can go to deeper levels of sleep and stay in those states of rest much better. Yeah. So it is not something that is out there. It is something that is mainstream, something that anybody and everybody can practice, because believe it or not, we all breathe, we all have a mind. So there's something that we have with us all the time. And we just need to learn some tools, techniques, and practice it regularly. And that can certainly help us change the quality of our life.
That's really helpful. For me, someone who's also struggled a lot with anxiety in the past, I've found meditation to be particularly very helpful. Can you share some of your personal experiences that have been valuable to you, or what has brought you into this path? And how has active breath work been valuable in your journey as well?
Sure. So I started when I was a college student. This was about 20 years ago. I was going to college in India, IIT Kharagpur, which was very stressful, you know, away from family. And, you know, at the time, life was all about partying. Life was all about, you know, there was different kind of stressful situations that I was going through. And somebody came and suggested, hey, you know, you want to try these techniques. And this was 20 years ago, where there was not much research on it. But I just jumped right out of curiosity. I wanted to check it out. I wanted to see how it does. I was not sleeping well at that time. So when somebody mentioned, you know, try this breath work and meditation, I just jumped right into it. And I remember my first experience of meditation, the particular meditation that we did was sky breath meditation, was so profound. I slept like a baby after that. I hadn't had the deep rest in such a long time. So I continued with the practice because it was something that, I loved it, something that, I could do it. It was very tangible. It was not like closing your eyes and, figuring out what to do. So it was very tangible, very specific rhythms of breath that I was working with. And so continued with the practice. And I saw that, my grades went up, very slowly, grade went up without putting in same amount of effort that I was putting in my studies. My grades were much better. I wasn't as anxious. My anxiety levels were definitely much down. And my sleep continued to stay deeper. I was definitely having much deeper sleep. I remember 6 to 8 months later also. And after that, I came to United States to do my master's. And here the stress levels kicked in quite a bit. My health wasn't doing the best. I used to suffer from something called ankylosing spondylitis, because of which I had pain in my heels, in my knees, and I was taking 4 to 6 painkillers a day. And so I reconnected with my meditation practice. I started practicing the breath work, the meditation again, and that just gave me a lot of inner strength. That just helped me manage my disease. That just helped me manage my pain. And being in the United States, away from family, being away from all the support systems, financially independent for the first time, living on a scholarship. So that gave me a lot of its own stresses. And here, this is when I really connected with my breathwork and meditation. It gave me the strength. It gave me the clarity in my mind. It gave me the strength to, work with my health issues. And I have faced so much amount of clarity. Once I reconnected with the group here, reconnected with my practice, restarted doing my breathwork and meditation, then participated in something called silence retreats. And that really helped clear a lot of my physical ailments as well. So that's a practice. I just continued with it. And over the years, I've found whether it is challenges at school, or I remember, 10 years ago when I went back to school again. I went to UC Berkeley to do my MBA. And at the time, my wife was, and we were pregnant with twins. So it was a quite challenging time, where wife, I have to deal with, because twins were born in October. My MBA started in September. I was still working at Intel as a full-time job. So juggling way too many things. But one thing that kept both me and my wife going was the breathwork and meditation. A few minutes of it helped us keep our mind clear, help us be in the moment, not regretting what happened in the past, what somebody said a day before, a year before, or 6 months before, not getting anxious about the future, but keeping the mind in the present. And every day, just 15 to 20 minutes, we continued, both me and my wife would encourage each other to continue with our breath work and meditation. And I tell you, that was the lifesaver for us. Yeah, so that helps us get through those, challenging times where, we had too many things, too many balls juggling.
Oh, I can definitely empathize with that for sure, as many people on this Zoom. It feels like we're managing too many things. Something that I've noticed in practicing meditation, especially for those who may have not engaged in it or are early beginners, how do you deal with all of the constant thoughts in your mind? In the sense of like, there used to be this saying that I've heard that, can think of your thoughts like clouds passing by, where you acknowledge them, but then you let them continue to float. Can you share with us a little bit some of the techniques or exercises that can help people to really calm that chatter in their mind?
Yeah. Having thoughts in the mind is like, if you say, I don't want thoughts in the mind, is like in saying, I don't want waves in the ocean. As long as there's ocean, there's going to be waves. As long as there's mind, there's going to be thoughts, right? So if you tell your mind, okay, I don't want to think about a pink monkey, but everything else is fine. Where does the mind go? Goes to the pink monkey, right? So if you tell our mind that we don't want thoughts, I don't want these negative thoughts, I don't want, then the more they stay, right? So how do you handle thoughts? The key to handling thoughts is right with the breath. If you use breath as a tool, you can handle the mind much better. For example, every emotion has a corresponding rhythm to the breath. Have you thought about it? For example, when we feel angry or upset, how is the breath? We all have a lot of experience with that. It's fast, right? It's really fast when we're angry or upset. When we are sad or tired, how is the breath? A lot more emphasis on the exhalation. Right? When we meet with people we don't like or uncomfortable situation, how is the breath? It's tightening the muscles, right? We're not hardly breathing. When we're shocked, we're hardly breathing, right? When we're happy, peaceful, how is the breath? It's very steady, right? So every emotion has a corresponding rhythm to the breath. If we work with the rhythms of the breath, we can handle the mind much better, right? I'm not saying you will come to a state of thoughtlessness or anything like that, because that just doesn't exist. As long as there is mind, there is going to be thoughts. And like you rightly said, accepting the thoughts, right? Okay, let the thoughts come, accepting, because the more you resist, the more it will persist. The more you say, I don't want these thoughts, I don't want them, the more it's going to stay, right? So accepting the thoughts, but again, working with the breath, you can handle the mind much better. For example, another example I give is like mind is a kite and breath is the string. So using breath as a string, you can handle the mind much better. Right? So the key to managing mind is through your breath. It's right under your nose.
Well, I really like that metaphor with the kite and the string. I know I'm going to be definitely using that. And you mentioned some of the breath work, and we're going to have a guided session later this evening. But can you share some examples of techniques and other meditation practices that you've shared with your students?
Yeah, the particular breathwork teaching that I do is called the sky breathing. And what it is, it uses specific rhythms of breath to help manage the emotions. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to do. And what it does, it just helps clear your mind of all the negative chatter, of all the thoughts, of all the negative thoughts that come in, so that we're able to experience a state of stillness, a state of calmness, right? I mean, breath work, there are many various breathing techniques. We have something called a straw breath. We have something called alternate nostril breathing. We have something called bellows breath. And we'll be doing some of the breath work today as well, just to give a taste of the breathing technique. But what I found is the sky breathing that I've been practicing for many years now, 20 plus years now, is one of the most comprehensive breathing techniques. In fact, there was a study that was recently done at Yale University last year in July, and that showed that, doing the sky breath meditation has helped, with 6 different facets, whether it is stress levels, whether it's emotional intelligence, feeling of well-being, anxiety, depression. In all those facets, the sky breath meditation have shown, remarkable results in the student community.
I know that when offline you shared with me that video of that study, which was really fascinating. And I would love if you could share with everybody as well how students resonate with these breathwork techniques and also just being a part of these sessions.
Yeah, students, they don't really have healthy coping mechanism. Usually they just, shrug off any stresses that are coming in under the rug, or, and like we were sharing before, 1 in 4 student population have been thinking of committing suicide. I mean, the rates are astounding. So the stress levels in students is much higher, definitely, in any other age population. And in my experience, because I've been teaching these techniques for the last 11 years, I've seen the student, they have so many things going on with the social media, with the the financial insecurities, or with the social connections, so many things that are going on. When they learn the breathwork and meditation, they experience such a sense of peace and calmness, right? They're able to focus better in the studies. They're able to, leadership qualities, leadership skills that come up. Students usually have a tendency of, taking on challenges. They have a lot more attitude of taking on bigger challenges, bigger responsibilities. And when you give them some direction, when you help them manage the mind and emotions, they're able to do much better. Yeah. So I've actually taught this program at UC Davis and UC Berkeley. And at both the places, I have seen, how students who have, done these breathwork and meditation, incorporate this as part of their life. I mean, they're able to manage their life much better.
And is this open to also non-students, for example? So, I mean, can you share with us a little bit more of the foundation and how individuals like us as well can access these resources for ourselves and our day-to-day lives?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, stress is something that is so universal, right? Whether it's the student population, or whether it is, people who have regular jobs, or whether it is people veterans or whether it's in corporations, within high schools, or whether even middle schools. Stress is something that is so universal. So the foundation that I volunteer my time is the Art of Living Foundation, and Bolar had texted the link of that. So we offer programs for all the age groups, and the way it is, it's a very structured program in just 3 sessions. Not only you learn the breath work and meditation, but it's a very comprehensive program which includes positive psychology, which includes social emotional intelligence, which includes a lot of other skills that helps you lead a successful life. It is just 3 hours each day for 3 days. And then you learn these powerful breathing techniques, and then you can practice it every day. You can learn breathwork and meditation from any place, right? You can learn it from YouTube, you can learn it from guided apps, you can learn it from anywhere. But when you learn it through an instructor, when you learn it with a community, that sticks more, is what I've seen. Because many people, they just use an app and then they start it and they fall off and they struggle with it, then they don't do it and everything. But when you're with a community, then I think I've seen people sticking to it much more, because there's a lot more community support. There is a lot more hand-holding. It's a lot more structured. It's just like, learning football. You're learning it by yourself, or soccer, or you go to a coach. There's a difference, right? Learning any musical instrument. So that plays a difference.
Of course. And you also said this earlier and mentioned it in passing in regards to the silence retreat or silent meditation retreat. I had someone share that with me a few years ago, and I heard it was, and I'm curious to know exactly what your foundation offers or how it differs, but it was essentially a 7-day retreat of just silence. And I knew there was no way I could do that. I still have not set foot to do something like that for myself personally, although I think I could use it. Can you share actually exactly what that entails and what's the benefits for that for individuals, and maybe inspire someone like me actually to do it?
I tell you, silent retreats are the best. They are a perfect vacation for yourself. Because in silent retreats, you're usually digitally disconnected. So no cell phones, no emails, no phone calls, no television. I tell you, half the job is done because of that, right? I mean, a lot of times we just are not able to stay without our cell phones, without all the, gadgets and everything. So half the job is done when you're completely disconnected. This is a time, I usually do silent retreats 3 or 4 times a year. And, 3 days or 4 days is what I do. And, the foundation offers it. So you're on Zoom sessions where they lead you through, it's a very structured retreat where you do an hour-long yoga, then you do some breathing, then you do meditations, and then there are gaps for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But this is a time where you're spending time with yourself, with the nature, right? With nobody else. You're completely shut off. So it is like a time to rejuvenate. It's a time where you take vacation just to connect with yourself. I tell you, most of the creative ideas comes from a space of silence, right? It does not come from a space of frustration or stress. It comes from a space of silence and contentment. And when you are in silence, when you're connected with yourself, creative ideas come, solutions to different problem comes. And I tell you, each time I've done the silent retreat, I've always come out like a new person. I've always come out like so rejuvenated, recharged. It's like recharging your battery, cell phone, or fueling your car or something like that. It's a wonderful experience. You should certainly try that.
I'm sure I will add that to my list. And also, I think we all need a little bit of a disconnection with all the distractions that we have going on today. I know I want to give us time actually for the session that you're going to be guiding, but I want to just wrap it up and ask you, what are some best resources you would suggest for someone to learn how to be more mindful and serene in their everyday life? Beyond the breath work and meditation, what other activities or examples could you share that we can incorporate in our day-to-day life?
Yeah, something nature walk. Every day nature walk without cell phones, without distracting yourself. Just taking every day 5-minute nature walk, 10-minute nature walk, being with the nature. I tell you, that is very powerful. Getting up in the morning, right? And not just looking at the phone the first thing that you do. Just spending 5 minutes, 10 minutes, taking it easy, just connecting again with the nature. I tell you, that is very, very helpful. And taking short breaks all throughout the day. right? Because we are so connected with our work, with our emails, with everything, just taking short breaks every couple hours and, just taking a pause, that makes a difference. Listening to music, right? There's nice soothing music. That is very helpful. Spending time with yourself, connecting with yourself, just, taking assessment, okay, what is happening with my mind? What is happening with my emotions? Oftentimes we all blame people and situations for what we are going through, isn't it? It's like we become like vending machines. Somebody presses a button, anger comes up. Somebody presses a button, frustration comes up. Somebody presses a button, smile comes up. So taking a note of that, am I being a vending machine? Am I being, do I have a control over my own emotions? Do I have a control over what I'm saying? Right? So taking some pauses during the day and pondering on those, I think it will help create quality of life.
I appreciate that so much. I love that metaphor of the vending machine. I'm going to add that to my terminology as well, with the kite and the string as well with my thoughts. Well, Deepak, unless there's anything else that you want to share, and I also know that we have Q&A afterwards for our guests here, but I would really actually love to fully hand it over to you and to walk us through a guided session, since I think that's the best way to benefit from this and see it in practice.
Okay, awesome. So let's do that. So the first breathing technique, we'll be doing two different breath works. The first breathing technique is called the straw breath. And so I'll demonstrate it, then all of us can do it together. And this is something that you can do anytime when you're feeling anxious, anytime, stressful situation, you can do it anytime like that. So the way it works is, let's all take a breath in from the nose. And you breathe out from the mouth very slowly, as if you're blowing into a straw. Once again, breathing in from nose. And breathing out in a straw. You can close your eyes and once again, breathing in through the nostrils. And breathing out through the straw. Breathing in. And breathe out. Breathing in. And breathe out. As if you're blowing into a straw. And one more time. And relax. And you gently open your eyes. Was it good? Yes. So this is straw breath. You can take quick breaks anytime you're feeling anxious or anything like that. You can do the straw breath. Nobody would even notice it. I've seen LeBron James do it. I saw a couple of his videos. He was doing some straw breath. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, he also does it. It's a nice tool that you can have. Yeah. The other breathing technique that we'll do is called bellows breath. It is very energizing. So times you're very tired or you need an extra shot of energy. It's also called as yogic coffee. Okay. So the way this works is this: loose fist by the side, breathing in, arms go up and palms open up. Palms open up. And breathing out, making loose fist again. You're breathing in and out through the nostrils. Mouth is closed. So it goes like this. Yeah. But before you want to do this, you may want to blow your nostrils. because stress will come out. Something else might also come out, and we don't want to dirty the space. So if you want, you can blow your nostrils.
Deepak, so is it nostrils in when we're going up and then out when you put your hands down?
Yes.
Okay.
Breathe in, arms go up, and when you breathe out, it is vigorous inhalation and forceful exhalation. You're breathing in and out through the nostrils. Mouth is closed, right? Your mouth is closed, you're breathing in and out through the nostrils. So let's do this a couple of rounds. Loose fist by the side. Breathing in, arms go up. Breathing out, up, 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 up. Okay, I think everybody's doing great. And relax. So we can do this a few rounds with our eyes closed so that all your awareness is within you. Just observe what is happening within you. We'll do this a few rounds. We'll relax. Once again, we'll do this few rounds. Once again, we'll relax. And once again, we'll do this few rounds and we'll relax. And then I will guide you through a short meditation. And during the meditation, I'll use a light flute music in the background. But if needed, you can adjust volume on your side if it's too loud or anything. And I would suggest not to have any distractions at this time so that you can have a good, quiet experience. Yeah, everybody's muted anyway, so no sound will go from one box to the other. But from your side, also ensure that nobody disturbs you so that you can have a good, restful experience. Sound like a good idea? Yes? Okay, all right. Let's do the bellows breath. Loose fist by the side, eyes closed, gentle smile on the face. And together, arms up, down, 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 and relax. Eyes closed. Observe any sensation that you may have. Observe any sensation that you have. Observe the state of mind. And let us get ready for another round. Loose fist by the side. Gentle smile on the face. And together, arms up, down, 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 and relax. Eyes closed. Observe any sensation that you may have. Observe the state of mind. Observe any sensation that you may have. Getting ready for one final round. Loose fist by the side. Gentle smile on the face. And together, arms up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and relax. Eyes close. Observe any sensation that you may have. Let's take a breath in. Breathe out. Breath in. And breathe out. Just listen to the sounds in the environment. Sound of the music. Any noise in the background. Do not resist any sound. You are now in complete harmony with the environment. Breathing in and breathe out. Let us become aware of our body. Relax your right foot. Relax your right knee. Right thigh and hip. Whole of right leg. left foot. Left knee. Left thigh and hip. Whole of left leg. Relax your hips. Relax your stomach and navel. Relax your chest. Relax your shoulders. Relax your right arm. Relax your left arm. Relax your face. Relax your whole body. This body is a beautiful gift from nature. Honor it and respect it. And breathe out, relaxing open. Let us become aware of our thoughts. Good thoughts, bad thoughts, let them come. Do not resist any thoughts. And breathe out, relaxing more and more. Let us become aware of our feelings. More peace, more joy. Breathe in and breathe out. Are you aware of your feelings again? If there are any. Are you aware of your thoughts again? If there are any. Breathe in and breathe out. Aware of your body. And your surroundings. Gently hold your neck. And when you're ready, gentle smile on your face. You can open your eyes. Good morning. Welcome back. Was it peaceful? Yes.
Deepak, I almost fell asleep.
You
I did
know,
too.
yeah. Mind often thinks, associates rest with sleep. The mind is resting, we think we've fallen asleep. But this rest is much deeper than sleep. In fact, it is said that 20 minutes of deep meditation is equivalent to 4 hours of sleep.
Really?
Gives us that deep rest. Did you all notice how long we meditated?
Mhm.
It was 15.5 minutes of meditation and about 5 minutes of breath work, 7 minutes of breath work. So 20 minutes.
Mhm.
Okay, I want you to do one more thing. Let's all close our eyes one more time. And let us visualize if we had this peace, the feeling that we're having right now, if we had this all throughout the day, how would that impact our life? What changes do we see as a result of more peace, more calmness? Let's visualize that. Let's assume that it has already happened. Let's visualize that it is manifested. Maybe it is more clarity in the work, maybe better relationships, or whatever it is. Let's take a breath in and breathe out. And gently open your eyes. Is that good? What did you visualize, Hediya?
Oh, I was imagining how calm I would be for every situation I have to deal with within my day, and also the decisions I need to make. So I think so much of the time, especially I can speak for myself, I'm going through a lot of transitions and moments, and there's a lot of decisions to be made. And sometimes you get lost in your mind with what if this, what if that, if I do X, Y, and Z. And so as I was visualizing, I just started thinking it doesn't really matter. If I just stay calm, it's just going to happen. There's no point in even thinking about it, which felt very liberating in that regards.
The decision that we make, if it comes from a calm space of mind, can change the reality that we manifest, right? You could be taking different set of decisions when you come from a calm space, and that will certainly change, what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
I have a question. I have two questions, and you have to excuse my ignorance. How do these exercises compare with yoga? That's my first question. And how do they compare to prayers?
Sure, very good questions. So, all of these exercises, breath work, meditation, are part of yoga philosophy, right?
Okay.
Many times in the West, we think yoga is just about physical exercise. We think yoga is, whether it's a power yoga or the hot yoga, or, we just consider yoga as just physical exercise. Yoga is much more. Yoga just simply means, union with the self, connecting with the self. And when you do breath work and meditation, you feel more connected to yourself. Did we all feel that when we did a little bit of breath work and meditation, a little bit more connection to ourselves? So it's just part of yoga, right? Yoga is not just physical exercise. It has to do with breath. It has to do with meditation, with the mind and everything, yeah? And your second question, how does it relate to prayer? If you ask me, I would say prayer is like asking God or, the higher power or whatever you want to call it, asking for something. Being still or doing meditation is like listening to the higher power. or it is like, feeling the presence, or, when you just connected to yourself, you feel the energy around you, right? So
Right.
meditation is spending time with yourself. Meditation is connecting with yourself. Meditation is perhaps listening to the higher self, listening to, the higher power, is how you will call it.
Right. That's a prayer. Mhm.
Yeah. And even the prayer are deeper if it comes from a relaxed space. If the mind is too much chatter and, constantly, then, the prayer perhaps is not as much powerful versus coming from a space of clear mind. Okay. So I have
Mhm.
people from different backgrounds, different religions who have done the yoga, breathwork, meditation. They feel that the prayers are much more deeper after the meditation.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think so too.
Deepak, if I may ask a question, I an incident of stress, I think all of us have experienced, and none of us like it. How would one use this to deal in a situation involving road rage?
Yeah, like I was mentioning, every emotion has a corresponding rhythm to the breath, right? So whenever a negative emotion comes, if we just attend to our breath, just observe our breath, how is my breathing pattern? How is my breath changing? You will see it just starts to switch. It just starts to relax. Breath is something you can do work with. If I were to tell you, let's take a breath in, you can do it, right? If I tell you hold your breath, you can hold your breath. If I tell you to release your breath, you can release your breath, right? Breath is an involuntary and a voluntary function that you have. So whether it's a road rage or whether it's any stressful situation, many times we cannot control the situation. But if you just attend to your breath, just observe how is my breath, just stretch your breath, just do some breath work or just observe your breath. I tell you, it can switch. You won't feel the rage anymore. You won't feel the anger anymore. You won't feel the frustration anymore because you have the ability to calm the breath. When you calm the breath, your mind automatically calms down.
Interesting. Fascinating. Thank you.
I know breath is, it's like we're sitting on a, under a gold mine, we're sitting on top of a gold mine and we are still saying, oh, I need this. You're sitting on gold mine. You have all that you need right under your nose. If you can manage your mind, you can win the whole world. I think there's a saying something like that. If you can win your mind, you can win the whole world.
Oh, thank you.
Is there any other questions? Feel free to add into the chat, or I think you could also unmute yourselves as we're wrapping up.
Can I have a question? I'm just wondering about Deepak. At some point you mentioned that the breath work we did just recently or during, is that the ancient breath work from like thousands of years being practiced, or can you talk about this a little bit, please?
Yes. I mean, the tradition of yoga is more than 5,000 years old, right? There are various breathing techniques that I mentioned. So yeah, the particular breathing techniques that we did, the straw breath or the bellows breath, we don't really know the origin, but it's definitely been there thousands of years old. The sky breathing is something that is fairly recent and is very research backed. Sky breath has more than 100 plus independent research studies. And that came about 40 years ago when the founder of the Art of Living, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, he went into a period of silence for 10 days. And this technique came to him. And since then, he's been teaching it. And, more than 450 million people around the world have been impacted by these techniques. So, yeah, but other techniques, part of the yoga tradition, been there for thousands of years.
Yeah, I would like to just comment. I was late for the thing. This was my third meeting, and the one I just came from was with a group of Rotarians planning next year's Rotary meetings, and I wished I had reversed the order. But this might have really helped. to me, but I'd like to certainly apologize for being late, and I'm going to have to sign off because my wife and I are still waiting to have our supper. So, but thank you very much. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Mr.
Thank you.
President, good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wilfred, for being with us tonight.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you. And on that note, if there's any other questions, I would like to hand it off to, oh, Cassandra, were you about to, do you have a
Yes,
question?
I had a question. I thought maybe this would be good for schools with children who easily get upset in a classroom.
Yeah, absolutely. People from all age groups, right? We have taught many students in high schools and middle schools. My kids do it. They're 10 years now. They regularly do 5 minutes of breath work practice every day. So it is helpful for every age group, I tell you. And the earlier you start, the better it is, because healthy habits, and they can make life choices accordingly. So they make good life choices. It's definitely good to get them started early on.
Thank you.
Well, before making a decision, usually you say, take a deep breath.
Mhm.
So, I don't know what the relation is, but I also have something to say. Like when my daughter wants to lose some weight, she says, I have to go back to yoga. My God, what is the relationship? I thought that it was diet. The solution was diet, not yoga.
You know,
So
yoga,
is it willpower or something like that?
yes, everything starts from the mind. Yoga, breath work, meditation helps us better control over the mind. So you have a say over what you eat. You have a say over what you say. I mean, you have a say of all the senses. Yoga just helps better control over the mind. And the quality of a life is determined by the quality of a mind, isn't it? It's your mind that sees. It is the mind that feels. It is the mind that touches. It's the mind that perceives the whole world through the senses, right? So yeah, attending to the mind, managing your stresses, managing your emotions can change whatever you want.
That's a beautiful way to wrap up, Deepak. Thank you so much. And I want to hand it off to President Gerard just for some closing remarks.
Well, there's really nothing to say. I think this is the perfect ending point. Thank you, Hediya, for what you've done tonight. And Deepak, again, I'm going to practice this. I can see why people do it. It works. Thank you so much for your presentation tonight. Now, this is going to be on YouTube. We have a number of sister clubs, one in Mexico City and in London and in Munich. And we've just teamed up with it, the Rotary Club in Rome and in Cairo. And we have good friends in the Rotary Club in Taiwan. And so we're going to invite them to watch this at their convenience, because it's a universal message. And thank you for being with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And Hediya, in the next month or so, we're going to meet up. Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. It was lovely talking to you, Hediya. Lovely sharing and interacting with everyone here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you,
Goodbye,
everyone. Good night.
everybody.